South Pacific Island beats.
Hey, yo, what's up, South Pacific? You're here with Edward Frame from South Pacific Island Beats. I'm right here in the capital of Papua New Guinea, Port Moresby, right here at CHM Supersound Record Production Studios. Joining me this afternoon is a man who needs no introduction. He's a legend in the South Pacific Island music industry. Been in the industry over 10 years, released 4 albums plus. He's coming out with some new things at the moment, and we're here to get to know him a little bit better on a more personal level. DadiiGii! Thanks, bro. Thanks for coming out to join us. Very honored to have you on the show. Let's start with something I'm quite curious about. How did you get started with music?
Yeah, thank you. I was a school dropout myself, and I was brought up in a squatter settlement. When I dropped out of school, I had nothing to do. I stayed home, you know, watching everybody my age, you know, getting jobs and earning a living. So I decided to take out music. I was a boiler maker back then. I graduated, I got a certificate for boiler making, steel fabricating and stuff. I worked a couple years, and you know, pay was good, but it was not enough to support my family. My dad was a sailor, and we only see him once or twice a year. And my mom was the only, you know, parent raising all 6 of us. And you know, I have to do something to help her. Back then, music was paying good. Okay, I've read stories about, you know, Patidoy and, you know, all the other Papua New Guinean artists, you know. So I decided to drop my profession as a boiler maker, and I took on music. I started writing songs, which I refer to these days as baby sense songs, you know. So I started coming up with songs and playing my guitar and singing. I also listened to a lot of reggae music, which inspired me to, you know, carry on music. I mean, take music as a career and to make a living out of it. So I started writing songs, and some other boys my age, you know, they were also interested in music. So we came together to form a band, and we started there. We start putting songs together, and after a while we came up with a demo, and we decided to take it to, you know, CHM and, you know, do a recording as a band. So we started doing fundraising, and we come up, you know, for plane tickets to and from and things like that. So we came up good. Our fundraising was okay, but the boys decided to, you know, go out on drinking spree, taking the money that we raised for, you know, air tickets.
Yeah.
So I was left hanging there with my, you know, I was very serious in, you know, taking up music. So I can't continue on with the demo. I did 5 songs on a demo, and I took it to my family, and I asked them to help me, you know, pay for air tickets and stuff like that, and sponsor me to come here, fly over to Moresby and record. So one of my aunt, okay, my mom's sister, she sponsored me. She handed me the tickets to and from to Port Moresby, and yep, I left late. There was around 2001. To come over to Moresby and record, and I brought my demo over to CHM. It was rejected. Only to find out, you know.
First time rejected?
Yeah, it was rejected. CHM rates the album 1 to 5 stars. 5-star artist, it's a priority artist. You have to go in the recording schedule. CHM was okay because you record free, and later you have to pay pay the company back the money that you owe them, recording fee and stuff like that. So it was okay. So I was given 2 stars, and I was very disappointed back then. So I had to go over to Xerox Studio, which was owned by Cornelius Poa, and I was able to pay 500 kina to record 10 full songs. But prior to that, I was singing with a band. It was a struggle. So 1 year, I was looking for studios, and finally I went to CHM, and I was rejected. So I went over to Xerox Studio. They said, okay, you have to pay, but before that, you have to sing for our band. So yeah, I was, you know, singing with them do some roading jobs, gigs here and there. While Enslom, Nanki Cruz, and Justice Mogulins here, they were singing. They were the main vocalists for the band, and I was the backup vocalist.
You were backup
for the Xerox band, and later I moved on to become a lead singer for the Cyclone Studio, which was owned by the Mugunawa brothers. It was owned by Emmanuel Mugunawa. He's a very popular sound engineer here in Papua New Guinea. And, so yeah, I did gigs here and there, and finally I completed my album with Xerox Studio, and it was handed over to, because Xerox was affiliated to CHM back then. So my album was passed over to CHM for publishing. So I think Mr. Raymond Chin heard my album, and he sent word out for me to come and record with them, because he was cancelling my album to be released under Xerox. So he said, you have to come in. We will talk with Xerox Studio. We'll come up with an agreement, and we will drop this, but you will re-record all the songs again. This time with CHM sound engineers. So that's what happened, and I was very happy, very pleased with, and also thankful for Xerox studio owner for his understanding and for letting me go. Yeah. So I came up with. I met up with Mr. Chin, signed a contract for a 4-year album, and yeah, I started recording with CHM, and that's so my first album, Days of My Life. Yeah, it came out under CHM label.
Released under CHM.
Yeah.
Was that the album that you got the most recognition for?
Yes.
Because that was during the time when you were proclaimed best new upcoming artist in Papua New Guinea.
Yeah. So yeah, that album, the first album was a mixed album, because I wasn't too sure what to do on that album. So I have to get response from listeners, the music fans. So I will know which way to go. So I did couple local songs, I did reggae, I did dancehall, all in that one album. So I mixed everything up in that one album, and yeah, the result came well, and I saw the response. Yeah, I think almost all the songs in the album, like 4 to 5 songs, were all hits, number one. Yeah, for so many weeks on the charts, and that got me a Rookie of the Year for the UMFM PNZ Music Awards. 2005. Yeah, at the time. Yeah.
How did it feel coming from the state of struggle to actually be to win the award for like Rookie of the Year? You'd gone through that whole journey, right, from Lay all the way to Moresby, struggling to get your demo out. How did it actually feel when you won the award?
In a way, it felt like I've reached my goal and where I wanted to be, and yeah, it also came with a lot of responsibilities, I guess, and I was, it helps me also to think, ahead and do stuff ahead of other musicians, or how to think, how to write. So, yeah, when I got the Rookie of the Year, award or title, I thought to myself, no, this is it, but I have to, live up to that, and move on, paving the way for all the other artists, and I must be a role model. That came into mind when I got the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, and now, obviously, you're a judge on the show. Are you Cox?
UM Cox, yeah.
UM Cox. Now you are actually not only a role model, but you're a guide for a lot of the young musicians. Coming up.
Yes, UM Cox, it's a talent show. You got to look for talents, all kinds of talents, like singing, writing, or a magician, or anything, a comedian. To be on the show, it gives me a feeling that I'm kind of like a mentor or something to guide the up and coming artist or something. Like I always say, the music and creativity can't be measured. It's something we can't measure. Everybody has his or her own way to, in terms of creative drawing or writing or, singing. It can't be measured. So all you have to do is just give guidance, and that's what I felt when I went or take on the job as a judge on UM Cox. And yeah, I played that role, and I think saw a lot of great talents in that on that show. So only thing we did was, you know, just guide them. They have it in them, but just guidance.
Where do you get your creative inspiration from? Obviously, you're guiding these young, talented artists down their own paths in music, but where does your creativity come from?
I think I always, you know, write my songs and everything. What I do in music, I think it's for the people. I say real situations, real pain that, you know, people are feeling, you know, and also for my own experiences in, you know, being brought up in a settlement or block in PNC, as we say, block. You know, you see a lot of things, bad things and good things, and yeah, that's why and how I write. So I write not to, you know, it's kind of like how we can solve the problem, how we can, you know, get away from that and stuff. And mostly, well, dance music, you know, stuff. So a lot of dance music, party music, and some real situations, like for instance, Mangi Highlands, sorry Promise. It was I refer to as a ting song. It just came out, you know. I see, you know, a lot of Highlands, you know, oh, coming here and Port Moresby and seeing, you know, they get connected with the, you know, ladies here. I wrote something about that, and it ended up to be a hit. I don't know, yeah, but people loved it, and it was real.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think all my songs, everything I write is for people, and it's about the situations, how we live our lives.
You actually mentioned to me previously, you know, your songs like Masala and the words that they've got in there, and sometimes you hear the little kids singing the lyrics on the...
Oh, so Masala came up when we were after Goroka province or so, culture or so, something, yeah. And so we were driving out, and this lady came to me and she handed me a beanie, a white beanie, and said, "No, look, why you go to Mila Mukim Sin one to you?" So it was a new line. Why you go to Mila Mukim Sin one to you? It was a new line to me, and I thought, oh, there's something new. So I kept it in my head, and while we were on the road, I started thinking, okay, I have to do something about that line. It's, I think, you know, I have to let people know.
Yeah.
But you know, I never thought like. So when I came back and I started writing it, when I completed the song, that was in the studio, and all the vocals, everything were done. And after that, I sat down and started listening to the lyrics. So like what I wrote, I was like, oh, dang. That was a mistake I made, because a lot of my followers said, young kids. And so the song went out, and it went now everywhere you go, little kids, you know, pushing a wheel or something, singing Mila Ukim Sin one to you. And so I came up with this song Binatang to, you know, take Masala out of people's mind. Like, I was, you know, excited at the time about the line that I heard from the lady, and I turned it into a song, and now it, you know, it goes on every little boy and girl's mouth, you know, singing in the streets and stuff. So I did Binatang to get Masala off. Yeah. So Binatang is it's Amanda, yeah. It's for, like, for sugar daddies and stuff. I like in the song. So for example, if there's a certain part in the song which I like her to, you know, hit the lows or the highs, I instruct her and tell her what I like in the song, and she will execute and she will do it, no question whatever. So I like working with her. and apart from that, you know, the lyrics and the songs are right. Some of the songs are right, and with her voice, I think it matches. So I've always wanted to, you know, keep working with her and push her, because I was invited one time to Lay, and that's where I saw her, I know she's a good vocalist, so I got her to back me up, and then years after, she made her own way into the industry. So yeah.
But you sort of opened that door for her to start off?
Not really. But she was, she was still very young at the time when I went there, and I thought it was just a hobby for her. But it turned out like, she was in music and she wanted to take that music as a profession, and she made her own way into the industry. Then I met her and we started working together.
It's a really cool story.
Yeah.
You worked on a pretty famous track, Kumul Susa, together?
Kumul Susa was a song for FIFA under 21, under 20 something Women's World Cup. It was held here in Papua New Guinea. So, yeah, okay. Prior to that song, we worked on South Pacific Games song. It's titled Time to Shine. I wrote that song because Pacific Games was coming up, South Pacific Games were coming up, and every artist was, doing their songs. And okay, I told my producer, Raymond Waleloki, I said, look, okay, we should do something for the South Pacific Games. Just, it comes like only once in a blue moon or something.
Yeah.
So I said, I was a kid and I watched the South Pacific Games, and now look how old I am, and it's South Pacific Games, so I have to do something. And he said, okay, no worries, and he came up with all the music, and I started writing in the studio, and I asked Marianne to come over to help her vocals on the lyrics, and she agreed, and we worked on the song together. And it turned out the LOC, the local organizing committee here for the South Pacific Games, they got that song and they used that song as their theme song, PNG theme song, and we ended up getting artists from Solomon Islands, in Papua, all the famous artists, and we all collaborated on that song, Time to Shine. So after that, there was a FIFA, not a representative, but local organizing committee for FIFA, who was also in the South Pacific Games team. He asked Braden and Raymond who wrote that song, and they said DadiiGii. So he came to me and said, look, I think you'll be a good candidate for
Writing an anthem.
Yeah, writing an anthem for the FIFA under 20. I said, okay, no worries, no problem. As long as it comes in black and white, then I got my producers, executive producer and my music producer there, and it can happen. And after that, yeah, they came up with a contract agreement, and then I started writing for FIFA. It took us almost a year, something to work on it one song, and yeah, I also got married. I need to drive the
jump on.
a song. So yeah, we started working like a year for the song. We got all the garamuts and live garamuts and live band, everything in there, and it was say a milestone for my career, and to work on a project like this, to be viewed in 130 plus countries in the world. I was like, this is it. This is what I've been, waiting for. So I started writing. It took us a year. The lyrics has to go all the way to Sweden for approval and everything. They just changed a word from it and some lines on that song. So music has to be approved in Sweden. That's FIFA's headquarters and everything. So we got it approved, everything, and the vocals was final for Marianne. So yeah, it came out. Yeah. And we also have to play in perform at the opening of opening, the grand final, the FIFA grand final. Yeah.
Grand final.
Yeah. So it was the first time we performed that song, and it went on live through 136 plus countries. Yeah.
Hey, you are masalai, mama masalai, go. And me like ego, I'm like by me looking man, I'm walking kind, we feel him kind, no hate.
any other artists you like to work with in the studio? That you've worked with? You've had a very long career. There's probably a lot of artists you've worked on the last 10 or so years.
For me, I've always wanted to work with up and coming artists. I started off working with David Ryanks, who was a vocalist, artist. He was a good vocalist. We started working with. I started working with him on a song. It started Iti Bayama. He was in this band called Camp 7, and I was still recording here at CHM, and then that's when we collaborated on the song, and from there I started working with other artists. I felt free to work with other artists, and I ended up working, like I said, working with Sadzi and Message Sound System, and all the other artists as well.
You've also worked with Iri Leke.
Yeah, Iri Leke.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. He's a good friend, very talented guy, and he called me over to do some songs on his album, which I went over, and his type of music is different from what I do. I don't know how it is, but when I started writing, I quite felt his music. So I like. He's
definitely got a different vibe.
Yeah, totally different vibe altogether, which I like, and I'm looking forward to working with him on a song or two maybe, and we'll still keep in touch, and I think I will be working with him on a song. Yeah, I did release the song with CHM, but it's taking forever to release. So I think I'm gonna take the song back and work with Iri.
Is it a Free West Papa movement song?
Yeah. It's a West Papa movement song. Yeah.
That's something Iri's very strong about.
Yeah. So
That's something you're very passionate about as well, the Free West Papa movement.
Yes. I think in my life, when I took up music, all I did was chasing money. So now I grew, and I became matured, and I sat back and I started my life. Back then when I started, like, I've done nothing. All I did was chasing money here and there, and I realized money was not what I was looking for. It's what I can do to inspire and motivate, at least along the way, but because something you have to inspire people and motivate them, So I like work, writing for.
Free
I mean,
West
that type,
movements.
it's for a good cause, and everything. So
Very close to the heart.
yes.
Talking about something very close to the heart. I think probably just to conclude the interview, I just want to talk to you about your recent release, the song Missing You. For those that don't know, what inspired that particular song?
Okay. Missing You, I wrote that song especially for my wife. I lost her to cancer back in 2013. And I thought of writing a song about her the following year, but I couldn't find, words or how to express myself, and I kept it to myself, And at the same year, I lost my dad, and it was a very bad year for me, 2013. So I kept it to myself. Once he passed away, I stopped, gigs and doing music and writing songs, and I went back to Ley to be closer to my family, to get help, support from them maybe, or so I stayed there think till 2014, CHM called me out to do some projects with them. That's when I picked up again. I felt, I think it's time I should, do music and go, perform and do what I love. So I asked if I could do a couple more songs with CHM, and I signed up again, and I started recording the songs back 2014, but Missing You, I wrote it in 2016. 15, sorry. So I was in the studio with my producer, he was playing the piano, and I said, mate, keep on playing, because I thought it was a nice tune. So I said, keep on playing, and I was just scribbling on the paper. And at the end of, at the end I found out that all the words, everything I wrote in there were, it all connected to my wife. So her passing and how I felt and everything. So I said, this is it. Those are the words I've been looking for. I think that's the perfect song to go. I will put this in a song, and that's for her, and it will keep her first in my mind, every time. So we recorded the song Missing You, and I mean all the words that on the song, it came straight from the heart, because I wasn't thinking. It just came out. I just wrote it just like that, scribbling, and then I started putting words together after on the paper, and I said, okay, make it, this is yours. Makes my wife, so my late wife. So I said, okay, this is yours, and then we started, and it came out, and I'm getting a lot of good, positive, some good comments within the song, and it also shows a different side of me. I've always do reggae and local, and party hard music, and that's the one music, it showed my friend the other side of me, the soft side of me. So yeah, so it was dedicated to Maggret Piwen, my late wife.
You'd say like music sort of helped you cope with those emotions that you were going through?
Yes.
Has music helped you cope with a lot of emotions from the struggle, the initial struggles and settlement coming up?
Yes, a lot. I should be, I think without music I should be somewhere in jail or something. Because everything, from, there's a lot of issues, so everything, all the struggles in the, I tend to get it out in music. So I give all the energy there. So it, helps me to be a good citizen, and, to make a honest living. Yeah.
Great.
So I think, music helped me a lot, So peer pressure when you're growing up, but I decided to take it music and hold on to it, and it helped me a lot. And now I'd like to, do nothing but help the others as well, Yeah.
Thanks very much, DadiiGii. Thanks for joining us today. South Pacific, this is Edward Frame, signing off from Port Moresby, from a very emotional, great interview with one of South Pacific's own legends in the South Pacific Island music industry. Thanks very much. Stay tuned for next time.
DadiiGii blow boy, Mangi Place, Skiv Major, Alan Girl, Meriani, Bro J, Mangi Big City. Oh no. You ya masala, DJ Rescue. Masala, you know what I'm about. Ain't nobody like me or DadiiGii. Came from out of town, now nothing's out of my reach. I live the life, but I'm way